In the peaceful village of Windmere, nestled between thick forests and gentle hills, everyone knew Toma. Not for his speed or his laughter or his cleverness, but for how scared he always was. Toma feared loud noises. He flinched when doors slammed and covered his ears during thunderstorms. He was afraid of deep water, bugs, and stories about monsters. But what scared him most was the dark hill on the edge of the village. Every evening, just before dusk, a long shadow stretched across that hill, a towering figure that moved as the sun sank behind it. Older kids whispered it was just a tree. Others said it was cursed, but Toma believed it was alive, watching, waiting. He never walked near it. At night, he pulled his blanket over his head and imagined glowing eyes staring down from the hill. Then came the drought. Summer had been dry. Day after day, the sun burned hot in the sky, and the village well, once full and cold, was nearly empty. Crops withered. The animals grew thirsty. The people became desperate. One morning, the village elder stood before everyone. "There is a spring," she said, "just beyond the hill. It flows clear and steady at sunset, but the path is steep and it winds close to the shadow." Silence fell. No one stepped forward. The elder sighed. "We need someone to go this evening. Just one bucket will help." Still, no one moved. Toma's heart pounded. His legs felt frozen. But somewhere deep inside, a voice whispered, "You're tired of running." Slowly, his hand rose. Gasps came from the crowd. "Toma?" a woman murmured. "You're afraid of the dark," said a boy. "I am," Toma replied, his voice small but steady. "But I want to try." His father looked at him in shock. Then with a nod, he handed him a bucket and a small lantern. "You don't have to be the bravest," he said. "Just take one step at a time." As evening fell, Toma walked toward the hill, every step heavier than the last. The trees around him whispered in the wind. The sky glowed orange. And there, at the top of the hill, loomed the shadow. It stood tall and crooked, like a giant with bent arms. Toma's feet stopped moving. He wanted to run back, but then he thought of his sister, thirsty and tired. He thought of his neighbors and the dry soil in the fields, and he remembered how small he felt every time he ran from something that scared him. He took a breath and climbed. Closer, closer. The shadow grew sharper. His heart pounded like thunder. But as he neared the top, something shifted. The shadow wasn't moving. There were no eyes, no claws. Toma lifted his lantern. There in the flickering light stood an old tree, its trunk bent, its branches broken and reaching. Just a tree. Toma laughed, not a little nervous giggle, but a real laugh, loud and free. The spring flowed just a few steps ahead, cool and clear. He filled the bucket, knelt to drink, and felt the cold water refresh his spirit. He walked back under the stars, his lantern swinging, the heavy bucket in one hand, pride in the other. When he returned, the villagers rushed to greet him. "You did it!" someone shouted. "What was the shadow?" asked a girl. "Just a tree," Toma said with a grin. "Just a tree all along." From that day forward, everything changed. Toma still felt fear sometimes, during storms in the deep woods. But he no longer let it stop him. He joined in games, climbed higher trees, and told stories at night. The hill that once terrified him became his favorite place. He even carved his name into the old tree, a mark of the boy who faced fear and came home with courage. And in Windmere, when someone was scared, they were told, "Be like Toma. Take the step. It might just be a tree." Moral: fear often grows in the unknown. But when we face it, we often find that the monsters we imagined were only shadows, waiting for our courage to bring them into the light. Please subscribe this channel for more stories. Thanks.